Hello, Indraneel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've been really looking forward to this conversation, not just because Clatch is tackling such a crucial challenge in AI, and AI is such a popular topic today, but also because your journey has so many unexpected turns that I think lots of founders can relate to. Before we dive into the product, I'd love to start with something broader. Data labeling isn't a new topic, but it's still one of the biggest bottlenecks in AI development. Why do you think this part of the process remains so expensive and time-consuming, even in 2025?
First of all, hi, Carol. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I've been following StartupLinkX for a while, and it's exciting to see what you're building in the startup space. I'm looking forward to sharing some insightful data from the AI data world. I think it's often perceived that data labeling is expensive, but I would argue that it's more accurate to call it foundational and value driven. Think of building a skyscraper. Okay, you wouldn't call the foundation expensive in a negative way. It's absolutely essential for the entire structure. Data is the foundation of AI. I remember Yen Lucan from Meta AI, is the head of Meta's AI division, saying something that really stuck with me. As he said, as models get better, their output will start looking similar. What really is going to separate them is the underlying data. Okay. So high quality labeled data is a non-negotiable for progress of AI. But that said, the process remains time consuming due to the inherent element of human in the loop. We use this term human in the loop in the space, or HITL task. While humans are essential for capturing nuances, details in any sort of data set, either images or videos or text, this naturally limits speed because humans are limited. However, there is room for improvement through better tooling. If 50% of the work is human, 50% of the work is the tooling that you use to complete the annotation task or labeling task. By today, by integrating pre-trained models into the workflow, we can potentially cut labeling time by up to 50%. Okay. And at Clatch, we are working on a tool that will not only speed up the process, but also fine-tune it for the specific consumer needs. So delivering efficiency as well as precision.
Now, let's talk about what you have built, Clatch. First of all, what's the origin of this name? Is there any special meaning behind it? Why is it called Clatch?
Well, Clatch actually means meeting someone at a casual setup in a cafe. Okay. And as it happens, I met my first client, which was a very local customer. And it was back in the web development. I used to, back in my high school and college, I used to do a lot of web development related projects. So I got a web development related project, and since the setup was in a cafe, the word Clatch is very related to it, having coffee, and that's how the name came into fold. I have kept on with that name, and it's continuing still now.
All right. Coming back to your product Clatch, right? Clatch takes a very different route by combining AI with human input. Can you walk me through how this hybrid approach actually speeds things up without compromising accuracy?
Our hybrid approach is all about leveraging the best of both worlds, which is human expertise and advanced pre-trained AI models. Okay. This combination enables us to process data more quickly while ensuring the high quality that the various customers demand. And we have already are implementing this approach. We have already seen that blending these methods can significantly reduce the turnaround time to complete the projects, as well as save major cost for the clients without compromising on the quality. But since every project is unique, solely relying on the generic pre-trained model isn't sufficient. And we are continuously expanding our library and investing in fine-tuning the challenges that our customers face. And this also ties us to data-centric AI, which is a concept very well talked about in the recent times, which is a big deal in our space, which really means it's all about obsessing over data quality, engineering it right, rather than just tweaking models endlessly. Okay, that's how we boost performance without breaking the bank.
I imagine it wasn't easy convincing clients to move away from their traditional, familiar manual workflow, right? So what kind of pushback did you face early on, and how did you manage to convince them to change?
Getting companies to ditch their manual workflow is tough. They are comfortable with what they already know. Their engineers are already trained in a certain workflow. Uh, so the trick is to show, not just talk. Okay. So we'll quickly run a pilot with the client, say labeling a chunk of their data with our hybrid setup, and let them see how faster and how accurate uh, the results are compared to their old ways. Okay. And numbers don't lie, and that usually opens their eyes. Okay. And we also tackle the various worries that a customer may have. Data security is one of the big things. Nobody wants their stuff leaked. So we make sure that our platform locks down this tight and slots them right in the system. Okay, so because it's in if you are working with data, it's all about trust. Once they see that they are getting their needs and delivery, they're always in.
All right. You mentioned in a past conversation that Clatch, you initially built it
Yeah.
as a service offering. But what changed in your thinking that led Clatch to become a platform instead? And how did that affect your roadmap?
I launched Clatch back in 2020. I thought labeling was just a service game. Okay. You nail it with great people, with great technology, and you're golden, good to go. Just a great service uh, workflow, and you can deliver on the project. But working with the clients over the past 3.5 years, what I saw was they were really wrestling with really bad tools, labeling tools, and really slow processes. So it hit me that this data problem, isn't just about service. There's a tag gap that needs to be filled as well. Okay. Uh, that that really flipped my direction of where I thought I would take Clatch towards. We are now building a platform, a tool that's more than just labeling. It's about smarter data management, labeling, as well as quality checks. So combining our service know-how will tech muscle to tackle the whole data pipeline. So it has been a game changer for how we are able to help clients by incorporating both the human aspect, the service aspect, and the tooling aspect. Combining them together, we have been able to provide our clients with a really good hybrid approach that really works towards their goals.
I'm curious, how much has Clatch grown since you made this direction change? Let's say in terms of number of clients, how many you were serving before versus how many you are serving today?
I think before we only used to get a certain direction of clients who have very raw data and they need it annotated. Their were higher. Their their timelines were higher. Pricing, they wanted the cheapest deal possible. Now, when we are able to provide a combined approach, when we are building the tool, it's built to a certain step. We are not made it public. We only make it available for existing customers. By giving them a proper combined approach of the um, service as well as the tool, I think it has really helped them save their, one of the main priorities is to save cost, and it's leading to saving cost because, and also turnaround times are slower. So we are able to complete projects much faster. So there's no reason for the client to move back after experiencing this approach. And if you also look at the other labeling tools, there are many startups. There are not many, but there are a few startups who have raised a lot of funding regarding building labeling tools. They have raised money for labeling tools, but they are also doing service. Okay. That says a lot that this is not just a tech problem, or this is not just a service problem. If you have to really solve for the customer, you have to integrate both of them and provide a proposition to the clients.
Indeed, customers often have all sorts of needs, right? Hardly you can meet all of their needs just with one type of tools, and service will often follow because client wants everything. They want a package of, human service, also easy and very efficient tool to go with.
Right.
All right. One thing I found really interesting was your point about listening to what customers don't say. Can you share a moment when a client's frustration, not their direct feedback, actually shaped your biggest breakthrough?
We work with clients across many different industries and sectors, from agriculture, social media companies, not the big ones, and robotics, so all sort of from various different industries, you name it. And one signal was their grip about how rigid the existing tools were. They would say this platform can't handle their different data, or it's too slow to scale on the existing platform. So that really pushed us to build something flexible and fast. And another inciting moment was watching their workflows. They would spend ages preparing data or double checking labels. But we thought, why not just automate it? In 2025, you don't have to label data from the 100% of the labeling tasks does not have to be done manually. Okay. There are pre-trained models out there. There are processes out there which can really fasten up the process. So why not just automate it? These tweaks that we bought in our platform, custom tool, streamlined platform, streamlined pipelines, came straight from their frustration and turned in our biggest wins in securing more and more clients across different diverse spaces.
All right. At the startup, you are taking a very unconventional path because most startups in the space chase VC funding early on. And you said you even came from investment banking world, right? But you took a very different path. What made you decide to grow without outside capital? And how did you make that work?
That's right. We haven't raised any external capital so far. And I've never actually even pursued VC funding as if. For me, growth has always been about solving some real customer problems and building a sustainable business model from day one. And I also believe that other founders should focus on creating value rather than chasing funding from day one, waking up every day to think about where will I get my funding to hire more people or build scale. Which because if you raise funding, it also adds unwanted pressure into the company to for hyper growth related model, because that's what VC funding is really for. Our current model does not really naturally align with the hyper growth expectation of a traditional VC funding. So instead, I've prioritized, customer centric growth, customer driven growth. That said, I am not against I'm not anti funding as we are rolling out tech such as our labeling tool. We are open to exploring funding opportunities that align with our long-term goals.
Well, organic growth is not without risks, right? At one point, Clatch relied heavily on a single major client. When their needs dropped off, how did you navigate that moment? And what did it teach you about growing sustainably?
It's true. Early in our journey, we were very highly reliant on a major client. I think I started my business, I left the corporate world because I had secured these projects, these early projects. Okay, and that gave me the confidence to leave and go ahead. But over a year, when your project started to decline, I had to adapt quickly. And as a first-time entrepreneur, this was a significant learning experience. I took a step back to analyze what's going on in the AI space, what are the trends, identify some recurring pain points that other potential customers were also experiencing. So the pain points that were being experienced by my previous client, I looked at the trends and tried to adjust it so that I can reach out to more, diversify our customer base and adjust our offerings to better serve a broader market. And I also think in any fast growing space, especially in the AI space, being able to pivot quickly and address real problems is essential. That flexibility not only helped us survive the downturn, but also position us for growth.
Very good strategy. Very good strategy. You've said before that Clatch focuses on doing one thing really well instead of chasing every shiny opportunity. How has that discipline shaped your team's culture and overall success?
Focus is crucial, absolutely crucial in business. In the AI landscape, if you look around, there are so many opportunities. Today, if you look around AI, it's all about agentic AI. People are working towards moving from LLMs to SLMs and whatnot. But if you keep trying to chase every opportunity out there, you actually dilute your efforts and it leads to a medical results in each of the schemes that you're into. So at Clatch, I have made a conscious decision to concentrate on solving the data problem that exists for the customers in the AI infrastructure field. So either through data labeling solutions or data collection or data acquisition related services or synthetic data related services, we are really focused on this segment of AI. And this has really helped sharpen our innovation. Take our new tool, for example, it speeds up labeling with pre-trained models. And you wouldn't have nailed it if you're juggling multiple things at once. If we were doing multiple things, we wouldn't have been able to figure out what are the customers' real problem. What do they really desire? Okay. So in any crowded space, being top at one thing is better than being, average or okayish at many. That's why Clatch has been able to grow sustainably over the past few years.
But by taking this approach, how do you make sure you don't miss out? Especially in the space of so fast moving technology, as fast moving as AI, how do you make sure you don't miss out?
I think you have to understand the customer's problems. If you understand, because these customers, they are not just even if it's an agricultural firm, You are mainly dealing with the engineering team. If they're making machines, if they're robotics firms, you're dealing with the engineering team. So they will share you insights, and you have to solve for those insights. If you just look at the news and look at the valuations and look at what's really hyped at that point of time, it's not going to give you directions. And uh, if you go back a few years back, people used to talk about VR as a technology, as the next big thing. So new technologies are coming and exist, and the technologies that are still there are getting improved day by day. Okay, you have to be in communication with your customers to understand which path to take. You have to understand their pain problems, and I feel that is the path which is best for taking, instead of looking out and trying to do everything, so that you can be in every space and you can get the maximum valuations and all those stuff.
Very well said. What's the next step for Clatch, let's say in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think we would like to go ahead with our hybrid approach. Uh, we are already in the service business. We are building a tool that is still in the process, but for our existing customers, we are also using it. So we are getting some real insights about the kind of problems that they may have with the tool, so making few changes here and there, getting more library of pre-trained models, building a facility for custom fine-tuned models as well. So yeah, I want to build in the next few years a hybrid, uh, you can say, data firm that works in the AI space, that solves the data problem for the customers. So, and whether it's data labeling, uh, whether through data acquisition or data collection, or whether through synthetic data, I want to solve the data problem for customers in the AI space.
All right. Currently, if I'm not mistaken, you are an Indian-based startup, right? Are you only serving Indian markets or any other markets too?
We are global. I am India based, but we hire teams all across the world, whether it's in African countries like Kenya, Uganda, whether it's Asian countries like India, Bangladesh, Philippines, Indonesia. So depending on the project, we hire members from multiple geographies. Yeah, again, I'm based in India. We serve global clients. I would say that about I think almost 85% of our customers are foreign based, and out of that 85%, I would say almost 50 to 60% are based in Europe. So it's a very global firm.
So even as a small startup, Clatch is already very global. Congratulations.
Thank you. We are just trying to do as better as possible.
Wonderful. That was such a thoughtful and honest deep dive, Indraneel. I really appreciate how openly you shared both the wins and the hard-earned lessons. I think what stands out most is your ability to stay laser focused on what truly matters, especially in a space as fast-moving as AI. Thanks again for your time today, and I can't wait to see where you go next.
Thank you, Carol, for having me. It